Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now I'm taking a look at the Super Nintendo game Boxing Legends of the Ring, which came out in 1983, courtesy of Sculptured Software, programmed by Electro Brain, as you can see here in that logo there. And it's got Thomas Hearns, Roberto Duran, Rocky Graziano, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, James Toney, and Sugar Ray Leonard, famous middleweight boxers from days gone by. Although depending on the game mode you pick, you may be able to create your own boxer as well. So, now at the time there were a few boxing games out for the Super Nintendo, and they got rather low reviews because compared to things like Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat, all you could do is punch, punch and punch, but this turned out to be a refreshing change, and I remember Superplay giving it a really good score. Certainly a better score than they were giving their the boxing games they'd reviewed previously. So let's have a look at the options. You can have music on or off, blackout on or off. You can look at controller options. The controller options are more straightforward than you might think, and I think I'll set the exhibition rounds to 4. And you've got different skill levels for the different types of one-player perspective. That determines whether or not you're in the foreground or the background. You'll see what that means when you come to actually see the gameplay. So let's just get an exhibition match going. Let's pick Sugar Ray Leonard. And now I pick the opponent. Oh, did that not work or something? Oh, I guess I must have failed to pick Leonard, but so I've picked Sugar Ray Robinson instead. But the controls won't be any different. So that's me in the foreground there. Now, you can duck by pressing down, and you can do blocks by holding down up, and you can. And you can also hold the L and R buttons to clinch, and the Y button does a left punch, and the A button does a right punch, but you have to press it in conjunction with either up to do a high level punch, down to do an uppercut, and Y and left to do a rib punch, and right and A to do a rib punch on the right. It's very intuitive and it works really well. And the boxing gloves in either side of the timer show your punching strength. The more punches you throw, the more that will deplete. So you don't want to go punching too wildly, because you'll just suffer in terms of being able to. Because you just won't be able to punch as hard as you could at the start of the bout if you punch wildly. So and there are no energy bars in this. But what you do have are the both boxers' faces. The more battered and bruised and so forth and bloody they look, then the closer they are to being knocked out. See, Graziano's looking a bit battered. You can see in the top right corner his face is starting to look a bit swollen. And you did hear me say the word bloody. As you can see, there is blood in this. Yes, there's blood in a Super Nintendo game. Now, you might be thinking, but didn't Nintendo of America hate blood? Well, not necessarily. When it came to something like Mortal Kombat, it was more the problem that it was a graphic depiction of death and excessive violence. This is a boxing match which you could have, even back then, you could have caught on a television, so there's not really anything that a kid wouldn't have been unfamiliar with if they were watching boxing on telly. And there's obviously no death in this. Oh, Graziano's looking really quite battered in. Right, that's the end of round one. So we're all being asked to go to our corners. So you can get stats like that. I'm holding down the A button to speed up that that girl holding up the yeah, sometimes you might notice that your boxer does the same combinations. That can actually come in very handy because it will give you an idea of where you need to block next. Yeah, I'm starting to pick up some bruises as well, as you can see in my top left corner picture. And his face is starting to flash in the top right corner. That means he's in real trouble, and I've just knocked him down. Hey, he's up. Never mind. That kind of ruins the effect, the overall effect a little. Nice atmosphere, you can hear the crowd in the background. And if it was your boxer that was in trouble, depending on whether or not you had blackout, if you were in very close to getting knocked out, then the screen would gradually darken. and that would make it very hard, and that would make it a lot harder to see what your opponent's doing, so you'll have a harder time defending yourself properly. He's in trouble again. Can I knock him down before the timer runs out? Yes. But will I knock him completely out? No. Not very good at telling when he's already up, is he, this ref? Right, that's at the end of round 2. Let's see another set of stats. Oh, he actually landed more punches on. I've knocked him down twice. Considering how many different types of punches there are in such an early game, it controls really well. It's very intuitive. Because the Y button for left punches and the A button for right punches are on the left and right of the main 4 buttons on the right of the Super Nintendo controller, it makes a lot of sense. I've already blocked nearly all of that. Another good way of getting used to what kind of combinations he has a want to. Your opponent has a habit of doing is that you might be able to time a punch to make it to exploit where he's leaving himself open once he does that combination. Sound effects are really nice in this, and the graphics are super detailed. Ooh, see, I managed to block his punch and then get him in with a left head punch. He blocked all that. Oh, he's got to be close to being in trouble again. I mean, look how battered his face is compared to mine. Nice. Oh, he's in trouble again. Yeah, blocked all 5 of those punches there. Yeah, and I've knocked him down yet again. He's up, you silly plank. Bit of product placement for a Hilton there. Bit of spattering of blood there. Managed to block almost all of those punches. Oh darn, I didn't do that correctly at all. Darn, I didn't manage to knock him down again. And I've only got 1 more round left. So because I set it to 4 rounds, this should be the last of the 4 rounds. Oh dear, I didn't look any of those. You can have simultaneous 2-player modes, and you can actually have it so it alternates, so it takes turns as to who's in the foreground to make it as fair as possible. Oh, darn it, I didn't quite catch him in time. Come on. Oh, he's looking battered. Oh, I couldn't quite dot it down in time to get that last punch, rib punch. You may have noticed that you've seen him repeating some of the same the punching combinations. Learning the order of which ones he does can sometimes be the key to catching him unawares by either blocking every last one of his punches if you manage to read it correctly, or by getting him where he's open while he's doing a punch which you know he's going to do. Down he goes again. Will I knock him out completely though? No. Yeah, I managed to read that lower one correctly that time. Yeah, read all that correctly. Blood. Oh, he's in trouble again. Can I get him? Oh, I got him down again. Will this be it? Can I knock him out for the count this time? No. I've got about 20 seconds to try and knock him down. I'd be surprised if I get time to knock him out. Oh, darn no. I didn't get to that flashing mode again in time. It'll be a unanimous decision that I win. Well, I was all over him, so that wasn't really that surprising. Got 696 punches thrown, although he landed more punches in proportion to the number of punches thrown than I did. But I did knock him down 5 times. So that's Boxing Legends of the Ring for the Super Nintendo. Pretty good boxing game, in all things considered. Graphics are really nice and detailed, and for the most part well animated. I mean, little extra bits like him getting, like a downed boxer getting up off the floor, are not that well animated, but the actual actions pretty well animated, which is good because you actually rely on that to like in something like Street Fighter 2, when you're using strategy to determine what your opponent's doing, it does rely on having good animation so you can read your opponent correctly and have a good chance of being able to either block his punch or be able to catch him out in an open area while he's trying to punch you. This music's nice and thumping, and the sound during the game is full of atmosphere, with the crowd cheering in the background, especially when someone's close to being duffed up, and you hear a cheer pretty much throughout the whole thing anyway. So it helps keep the atmosphere going, and the nice punching sounds and grunts and so forth as the boxers duke it out with one another. Gameplay more intuitive than you might think. I explained earlier how it works, and the fact that you can block and duck and the like, and it all works really well. Perhaps it's not quite as smooth as it could have been, but what's there is good. So I'll happily give Boxing Legends of the Ring 8 out of 10. It's arguably among the best boxing titles for the system, and if you want something a bit of a change from the usual beat 'em ups and platformers and so forth, then, and you like your sports games, then perhaps this one is one to consider taking a look at. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.